Hi, this is On It Imagination, and welcome to the Alma Mater. We're going to talk about the Alma Mater. So this has been a very, very long thing that I've gone through. I had an idea that I developed about 3 years ago, and it's something that it's in the back of my mind. It's always been there. It's called the Alma Mater. Alma Mater is Latin for the nourishing mother. And when you graduate from philosophy, there's two things that you do that every philosopher does. There's three things that every philosopher does. And the first thing they do is they build a school. The second thing that they do is they build their own political system. I mean, their entire society. They build a society. And the next thing that they do is they literally write all of history forward and backwards. So they did the historical records. That is the three things that every philosophy student does upon finishing their entire thing. And it's funny because it's not something we know about. It's intuitive for the philosopher to do this. You finish it and it's like, I'm going to build a school. I'm going to build my own political system, and I'm going to do the entire historical records frontwards and backwards. So when I graduated, that's exactly what I did. And then later I found out that Plato did that, Aristotle did that, Pythagoras did that. It's a thing we do. Now, Plato's is called The Republic, and it's a breathtaking work. It's literally everything that a society should be, but isn't. And that's the Republic. And when I started to build my political system, I realized it was almost identical to Plato's with a couple tweaks. For instance, he's huge on basically democracy is not at all what we practice today. Not at all. There are two types of democracy. There is the people's democracy, and then there's the disabling democracy. The disabling democracy is the one where we have representatives. This is representative democracy, which is actually not a democracy. And it's, I'm going to represent you, but not really. And I'm going to just do whatever the fuck I want to do, but I'm going to pretend that I'm representing you and I'm going to do the country for you. And that is not actually a democracy. If you study democracy in philosophy, you'll find out that democracy is actually self-government, true self-government. And this is what Plato talked about. This is what I'm huge on, is true self-government. Now, I'm going to be blunt. There's a lot of people in this world who do not know how to self-govern. So I'm going to say this, but this is not for those people who do not know how to self-govern. There's two kinds of people in the world. There's the people who do self-govern and the people who can't. Now, Thomas Jefferson, in his genius, decided to put this right in the Declaration of Independence. It's in the for the people, by the people. And there's a whole, if you do not agree or consent to the governing of the self, then you should not have a government, which is true. Basically, you're supposed to outgrow your government. And this is talked about in Plato's Republic, where when you start off in life, you really need to be governed until you reach the fourth ethic. Once you pass the trial of the fourth ethic, you're supposed to graduate and then be self-governed. Once you are self-governed, you are more ethical than any laws that are out there. There's the laws, your ethics, you're an uber human being. So that's what's going on with the nonconformist party, is they are literally self-governing. So they don't need the government. Now, why they are commenting in political is because they're not educated and they're ignorant. So they clearly did not get the memo that once you self-govern, you should not be participating in anything governmental, because that's for people who don't know how to govern. Once you learn how to self-govern, you've outgrown the government. That's for the people who are too ignorant, too immature, too ungoverned to know how to govern without somebody telling them how to be nice to each other. So this is normal human development. This is philosophy. This is ethics. And this is government. This is actually self-government. So what I realized was going on when I was studying the 12 ethics is you've got basically three partitioning groups. The first group is your foundational group. Now, there is no group that is better than any other, and every role is vital to every role. There should not be a class system between these three roles. The poverty levels are a reflection of the shit economy, because economists did not get the education properly that they needed, because there is no educational system in the country. What we have is garbage, not an educational system. So as a result, we're now seeing not only a class system massive difference, but we're also seeing the shrinking non-existent middle class now. And that's actually called resource partitioning. It's part of biology. And now the healthy side of society is resource partitioning off the dying part of society, which is the poverty side. And that's going to literally sink and crash, which is what we are in the process of witnessing. So this is a massive scope of philosophy, ethics, sociology, psychology, all crammed together into one massive social science that nobody in this world has any education on except Pythagoras. Fortunately, I studied from Pythagoras. So when all this stuff comes together in this integrated whole, you can see exactly how it's supposed to fit, what's moving forward, where everything goes together. My solution to all of this is something called the Alma Mater. This is not a business. That's why all of my work is free, is because I'm not a business. I am a political movement. That's what I am. That's what I represent, except my political movement is different. My political movement is absolutely nonprofit. So there's no power profit exchange. There's zero power profit exchange. The other thing is there's no authority. The authority is the people. Exactly as a true democracy with self-government should be. You're the power. So the people are the power. And because it's nonprofit and there's no power, all the Alma Mater does, and when you translate Alma Mater, it means the nourishing mother. The purpose of the Alma Mater is literally a giant Mother Teresa. That's all it is. It's literally Mother Teresa. Now, this is not one of those things where there's an election. There's no election. Because now we're getting into power, the hierarchy. No, there's no hierarchy here. All it is a body that sits here and nourishes the people. That's what this is. It is the Alma Mater. The nourishment of the people has 5 responsibilities. The first responsibility is your education. And that is why I have the Pythagorean school of psychology here, the Pythagorean school of everything, the adulting school for parents and for adults. Literally, it's an adulting and parenting school. This is the educational system. The second obligation is your mental health. Now, here's the secret. When you do the educational system properly, the mental health gets cleaned up right away, which is what it should be doing. So you hit the educational system and the mental health both in one shot. Boom, boom, you're done. In addition to that, there is the medical system. The medical system is something we are working on, and we are in the process of implementing free medical. And the medicinal. As a result, because it's all free, there's no need for insurance companies. There's no need for psychology. There's no need even for the educational system. That's shit that we all have experienced going, wow, this stuff is shit. Because we have the educational system, the mental health system, the medical system, and the medicinal, that's all free. Now, in addition to that, with the education system, I'm huge on the 12 ethics, which means I am vast on ethical science and, well, ethical science, which means when I get laboratories going in my schools, it will be ethical science. Now, we are looking at my schools, my scientists on the guidelines of the 12 ethics, doing ethical work, and then handing you the medicines for free. The reason why medicines are so expensive is because the government and the insurance companies have a power exchange going on so they can jack you $2,000 for a single pill. That's why. It's literally because of the power profit trade that they have going. But because there is no power profit trade with the Alma Mater, that's not going to be a factor. Medicines are actually like $5. This is the same system that Japan runs on, which is why Japan's system is not collapsing. It's because Japan is smart. So when you have the educational system, the mental health, the medical system, and the medicinal system, and everything's free because it's all within the Alma Mater, the nourishing mother, and now we're giving it to you for free because this is about literally nourishing the people. That's the only incentive, nourish the people. So as a result, it's 100% free. It has to be, which is why we've built the healing torch, the healing engine, the Radical Global Healing Plan for the sole purpose of getting this implemented, moving it out, and nourishing the planet. We are already in Uganda. We are already in Nigeria, and we are moving our way through Africa already to do this. It's already in place. So the flip side of all this, stepping away from this, is the other element of all of this. The other element that we're looking at is the spiritual side. The spiritual side is really the ethical side, and that's implemented in the educational system. And we have an entertainment system as well. The entertainment is Honest Playground. And we are also looking at the franchise, and the franchises are coming out next year in 2025. And what we are doing with the franchises is they are going to be actual adulting and parenting schools that go global. That way, you guys have a facility that you can go for teaching you how to do homeschool and teaching you how to do parenting. It's literally everything you should have learned in school and didn't. So that is what we were in the process of building. We already have a sponsor set up. That is with Concentric Industries. We already are collaborating. We already have everything in place. It's all set. That's what I've been putting together. My headache and my nightmare has been I get a bunch of salesmen coming into my world telling me, oh, what's your business? There is no business here. This is not a business. It's a political movement. And that's been this has been the massive crux, because when people hear politics, they think, oh, you're in the system, you're going through the system, you're making change. No, I'm not asking anyone permission to do this. I don't have to ask anyone permission to do this. We are a nonprofit organization. We do not have to ask anybody for permission to do this. It's called self-authority. We're just doing it. Because we're just doing it, I don't have to sit there and go through the electoral process or any of their bullshit. I don't have to follow their red tape because we're a nonprofit organization. So now we're going through that direction with it, the Nourishing Mother, the Alma Mater. Now, this is something I was not planning on releasing until like 5 years into the program. And I'm going, well, wait a minute, it's already here. We already have the Alma Mater. The Healing Garden is the mental health side of the Healing Garden, or the mental health side of the Alma Mater. Alexandria is the educational side. So Alexandria is where we do our education. And the garden is where we do our mental health. And we are currently working on building a community called Pando. But that's something I'm going to definitely be like putting pause on and setting that off to the side. That's something I'm not yet ready to dive into. That's probably going to be members only. And we do have membership, and that is something completely separate. We are modeling it after like the Rotary Club, basically. And that's where we have the membership getting involved. So as soon as all of this came together, it was like oh, this is just the Alma Mater. And you cannot run anything, like you cannot run a political system the same way you do business. In fact, the minute you do, you've now got a business, you don't have a political system. Now the political system is corrupt because it's actually a business on a power profit hunger fest. And now you've got a problem, which is why it is vital that something like the Alma Mater stays 100% nonprofit. It has to be, because as soon as you add profit and power into this cocktail, the whole thing will become corrupt. This is literally the motherlode of all humanitarian programs. It's also run by philanthropy. So that is really what it is. And I've got my own thing off to the side that's on an imagination. That's something entirely different. And this is where I was constantly back and forth because I was getting frustrated. I had a lot of people. I would talk to somebody and they would immediately launch into oh, this is what you should do for marketing this. And I'm going, this is not a business. I'm not a coach. And it's the one thing I've been screaming for the last 3 years is I am not a coach. I do not do coaching. I do not do one-on-one. I don't do any of that. This is the Healing Garden. It's a completely separate entity altogether. And as soon as all that came together, it was this massive, oh, well, that explains why I'm having problems with the sequences, because I had a lot of people trying to cram down this one model into what I was building when it's not at all. So it's literally a political movement, but it's a political movement like you have never seen or heard of before, because it breaks all the rules. We do not go through the red tape. We don't even play the game. We're not part of the game. We are a nonprofit, and we are also a political movement, one and the same. And we are still running. We're going to be doing a political marketing campaign, not for the purpose of getting electoral votes, because we don't do that. We are in the process of just raising awareness and bringing attention. So our sponsors are going to be funding our political campaign, our humanitarian campaign. And it's the sole purpose of letting you know that this is the facility that's available, this is what we're doing, and this is where we're going forward. And then it's understanding what we have in the background of everything. So you know this is not your traditional educational system, not even a little bit. This is Pythagorean education. This is a 2,000-year-old forgotten and abandoned educational system. And it is the same one that generated the greatest minds of human existence. There's nothing bigger or better than this. These were the people who turned education into their little bitch and mastered it. And what I really am is the voice or the spokesperson of this forgotten educational system from 2,000 years ago. That's really what I am. And the anger, frustration that I've had up to this point is just sheer confusion of trying to figure out why I'm going in this direction when I need to be going in that direction. So the Alma Mater is the summation of all of this. It's ethically run. It is nonprofit. There's no power. There's no election. It's literally a massive company based off of the concept of Mother Teresa. Now, there's a few things with Mother Teresa that I do not ethically agree with. For instance, one of the reports that came through was the children would be in pain, and she would tell them literally, pain is Jesus' kisses. And the children would say to her, please tell Jesus to stop kissing me. That is not psychologically healthy. There's a few tactics that I do not condone. But the concept that she was down with the people right where they needed to be at ground level, not sitting in a throne staring down at them and then ruling them. She was nourishing them from the ground. And that is the entire principle of what we are, is nourishment from the ground. Nourishment from the ground is education, which is mental health, which is medicinal, which is everything you've been looking for. We also have resources that we are in the process of building, and we absolutely have our franchise that's coming. The franchise, and I'm calling it a franchise, and I'm not sure if that's really the right word anymore. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the franchise is literally going to be the facilities that are around the globe. We're going to be starting in the United States and Canada, and then we're going to be going globally. And these are the schools that is going to provide the adult education, the parenting education that you need, as well as the facilities, the playground, and we're going to have adult kindergarten rooms. Now, in addition to this, we're also going to have resorts, we're going to have the getaways. That's going to be an entire thing, and that's going to be our profit side. So the profit side is actually our entertainment, like our vast entertainment. And that fuels our nonprofit. So the profit side is going to be fueling our nonprofit side. And the profit side is going to be our entertainment. It's going to be Anna's playground. So what I really need to be doing is focusing on a political campaign for the Alma Mater. That is really what I need to be focusing on. That is what I'm going to be in the process of building. And the sponsorship is starting to come through now. So like I said, we've already got it approved. We're just waiting for the initial wave to come through. Once that's set, we're going to be able to immediately fuel it. And what we are doing is we are collaborating with other nonprofits, because if we don't do it, then we cherry pick the absolute best of the best, highest quality for you. That way we can link you right up to parent companies and sister companies. That way they will provide you with whatever it is you need. That is what we are looking at doing. We are also in the process of building a homeschooling program, 100% free homeschooling program. And we are going to be working in collaboration with Khan Academy on this, as well as Wikipedia. We already have the Gutenberg project on board with this. So this is what we are actually building, is the Alma Mater. And it's all science-based. It's 100% Pythagorean science. That's what's behind this, is Pythagorean science. Oh my God, this feels so good to finally say. Like, we've based all of this on the same science from Pythagoras. And because of that, it's groundbreaking. It's never been done before. And that's been part of the problem that I've had, is this is stuff that has not been done before. So being able to explain to people what it is we've built, what it is we're doing, and what we are moving forward with, and the different branches of it is vast. It's literally a societal plug-in, and it's designed to nourish the current. If you think of society as 1.0, this is society 2.0. Society 1.0 is where you come from. Society 1.0 is the nursery. We are building, or we have built, a middle school and the big kid table. That's what this is. We have basically the middle school for society, so that if you're done with, okay, I don't need to be governed anymore, that's where we have this rolled out for you. So you can just come over and we will show you, okay, this is everything that you never got, that you should have gotten from society 1.0. And it's not in competition with 1.0. It's the next step. It's literally the societal next stage of, okay, so a lot of us have grown up, and society 1.0, the nursery, is no longer, it literally cannot sustain anyone who's over the fourth ethical perspective. So now anyone who's fifth perspective and higher is going, society doesn't fit me. The reason why society does not fit you is because you are smarter than their educational system, because you are smarter than everything that they are doing, because they are fourth, second, third ethical perspective, and they have not yet grown. And that's okay. Everyone grows in stages. There's a lot of us who've outgrown that society, but there's nowhere for us to go. So we are stepping in, the alma mater, going, okay, for those of you who have outgrown that nonsense, now we're going to sit down and we're going to work with you over the Pythagorean school of parenting and adulting. We're going to give you the plugins that you missed, give you the education that you should have gotten from day one, correct it, and then nourish you. That way you can continue and grow from here. But it's self-governed. It's 100% self-governed. And we teach you how to self-govern. We teach you how to stabilize, how to self-regulate, all of it, so you can stabilize. And if you are somebody who wants to get prepared for that, we do that as well. We prepare you for coming over for this. If somebody over there says, hey, I want to use what you've got over there to nourish that, we do that too. So we step into that region and we nourish them over there. And as I said, we already have African countries on board with this. We're already working with governments, taking care of this and nourishing them in those aspects. So we work on family fronts. We work on one-on-one basis. We've got it all set out so that it's absolutely a nonprofit. You step in, you get the nourishment you should have gotten from day one. You get your life straightened out on your right sequence, and then you're set. The very first thing we do with you over here is we correct your math, because the mathematics you were taught over there was actually math without any algebra in it. And when you study our mathematics over here, that's the very first thing we correct. Universities are highly compatible with us. And oh my God, they're going to love this. They are going to love this, because their biggest problem is, oh my God, this is nonsense. What the fuck is going on over there? And as people come in, basically a university's biggest problem with the people, with students and with the school system, is they're not being prepared for university. So which makes their job almost impossible. But in addition to that, they're not getting the right education from their foundational educational system to get ready for university. Now, whether or not universities are something you can actually implement in that society, I'm not part of that society. I don't know. In our society, university degrees are pretty much useless. They are something you can cherry pick and expand to the next level if you want to. But yeah, and this is where education is in the process of evolving, because as soon as the internet came into existence, suddenly all teacher concept is now obsolete, because you shouldn't have a teacher. You can just go onto YouTube and there you go. For God's sakes, there are MIT teachers who do their teaching, or you can literally go to MIT unofficially on YouTube, which now is asking the question, why am I paying to go to MIT when I have an MIT professor right here teaching me math? And that's exactly what's being raised in question. Between Khan Academy doing what it's done, do we really need the educational system that's currently there and or already failing? So we've literally condensed Pythagorean's University down into very easily digestible pieces. It supplements everything that you should have gotten. It's parenting, it's self-parenting, and it's adulting. Those are the three. That's it right there. Parenting, self-parenting, and adulting. So wherever you are in your life, it's 100% getting you right back to the foundation, supplying you with the foundational education you needed, and then supplementing it from there. So that is what the Alma Mater is for, and that is what we do. We're going to be doing a lot more focus going forward on that now that this thing is defined, now that we have the right name for it. We're going to be talking about your sequence. We're going to be teaching you about all the different variations of sequence, and we have this already set up on our website. We got free courses all over the place. You can just go right there, get into it, and then do it. I think that's pretty much it. But self-parenting, parenting, and adulting are the main key factors here. And then it's absolutely the new sciences that we have and our societal upgrade of 2.0. And if you have anything at all that you want to upgrade, if you have a corporation or a business that you want to upgrade, that's something we do. If you have a society or a club that you want to upgrade, that's something we do. If you have a government and you want to upgrade it, that is something we do. We know how to walk into a society, show you where everything needs to be fixed, show you what gaps are missing, show you what pieces need to be plugged in. We plug them in, it upgrades it, and then you're fine. It literally nourishes your entire system from the ground up. Another huge thing we do is we show you the communication system that's been broken down, and we supplement it, nourish it, and we rebuild your networking system right into any kind of a societal structure frame that you need to get it to flourish and grow. We do that in businesses, corporations, families, governments, you name it. We build it. It's literally a network societal system. And then we've got the infrastructure. It's all the working parts of it. So that is what the Alma Mater does. It's been a very long, a lot of noise to get to this point of, oh, I just needed to shut the noise out and turn it all down and then look at what I've got. So thank you so much. And may the truth always find you.